What up to all you football degenerates thinking about NFL Defensive Player of the Year a month away from the regular season? I'm doing the same damn thing. Really appreciate y'all being here. So we're going to get into my predictions for, like I said, NFL Defensive Player of the Year in 2024. This is largely a defensive line award, mostly edge. Like you did have Stephon Gilmore win it in 2019. He had 6 picks, a fumble recovery, so 7 total turnovers forced, a boatload of pass breakups. He was unbelievable for the Patriots that year. 2013, Luke Kuechly won it. I don't think you're ever going to see an off-ball linebacker do it again. That would be really, really surprising. So you need to be on a relevant team. You probably need to be a defensive lineman. You need to be a massive impact playmaker. A lot of sacks, right? Probably need to be on a playoff team, as I mentioned, relevant team. Most of the guys winning this award, their teams have at least made the playoffs. So we're going to get into my top 5 here, plus a corner and a safety. Just for fun. Why not? Maybe 2 corners. Hedge my bets a little bit. We'll get into it here. Really appreciate y'all tuning in. If you enjoy the content, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. So we'll go 5 through 1 with my legit predictions, then a safety that could get into the conversation, 2 corners that could get into the conversation here. So at 5, I have Will Anderson of the Houston Texans. A lot of folks have talked about Danielle Hunter, his teammate now, as a potential defensive player of the year candidate. And he certainly is, certainly could be. There are way more than 5 players who could win this award. I just wanted to do a top 5 to really lock in on the players I thought had the best chances of doing it. The reason I have Will Anderson ahead of Danielle Hunter is I think that he has a chance, to be a bigger household name this year than Danielle Hunter. Hunter has kind of gotten overlooked throughout his career for whatever reason at times by the general public, by the media. I think Will Anderson can be a bigger name if he goes into year 2 with the Texans and absolutely explodes, having more help around him, having Danielle Hunter opposite him, growing within the system. I think Will Anderson has a great chance to be Defensive Player of the Year. I think he has a great chance to get into the teens in terms of sacks, be a high-quality run defender as well. I just love what Will Anderson brings to the table. Wanted to mention him as a second-year player who has a chance. At number 4 and 3, these are kind of the chalky ones. You've got Myles Garrett, who won it last year, probably should have won it several times already. He is an unbelievable force at defensive end, edge in this league. One of the most talented guys to ever do it at that spot. TJ Watt, very similar situation, right? Pittsburgh Steelers. You've got 2 teams in the AFC North, Myles Garrett for the Browns, TJ Watt for the Steelers. Both these teams are going to be vying for the playoffs, trying to make the playoffs. Quarterback is the biggest question for both rosters, right? Deshaun Watson, can he get it together? Can the Steelers find magic in Justin Fields or just get Russell Wilson playing at a decent level? I don't know, but I do know both of these guys are on competitive teams, and they're both going to be among the league leaders in sacks, assuming health. And so they've got great chances. They've both already won it before. So that's why at 2 and 1, we've got some spice, some real spice here. And this is not just because I'm wearing a Duval hat. You see the teal in the background, cover the Jaguars. But I have Josh Hines-Allen at number 2 here. And you could really move these guys all around. Top 5 probably is a tier, right? You can move these guys all around, but Josh Hines-Allen, he had a MVP caliber season last year. I didn't say that he should have won MVP. I thought he should have been in the conversation a little bit more. Defensive Player of the Year rankings, right? In a certain year, different year, his numbers and his impact on the game certainly could have won him Defensive Player of the Year. He was unbelievable last year. But last year, Myles Garrett was unbelievable. TJ Watt was unbelievable. There were a couple guys in front of him, and I understand that, and I agree with that. So for me, Josh Hines-Allen, the biggest reason I have vaulted him up to number 2 is because he's entering his prime, and I think he is in a much better defensive scheme. I think he's coached by a much better defensive coordinator, Ryan Nielsen, this year. I think the Jaguars' defense has a chance to be excellent, and Josh Hines-Allen can lead that on that side of the ball. At number 1, I know Jags fans might not like this, but it is what it is, because the Jaguars drafted Trayvon Walker, not Aiden Hutchinson, who I have at number 1. He is entering year 3. He is coming off a very high impact season. He now has more help across that defensive front and on the back end. The offense is still going to be firing on all cylinders. I expect the Detroit Lions to be one of the darlings of the NFL media this year. Everybody loves when the Lions are doing good, and I do too. It's great. I think the Lions, having Ben Johnson, having Aaron Glenn, both of those guys still there as coordinators, and having such talent on both sides of the ball. Obviously, an emotional leader, emotional catalyst in Dan Campbell. I think Aiden Hutchinson, is he the most physically gifted dude ever? No, he is very physically gifted, but what separates him is his work ethic, his passion for the game. I think that Aiden Hutchinson has a chance to win, a great chance to win NFL Defensive Player of the Year here in 2024. So he's atop my list. Again, it's 5 Will Anderson, 4 Myles Garrett, 3 TJ Watt, 2 Josh Hines Allen, 1 Aiden Hutchinson. Let me know what you think about those rankings in the comment section below. We're going to go ahead and get into the cornerbacks and then talk about safety as well. At cornerback, I have Derek Stingley and Sauce Gardner, both from the same draft class, both very high valued picks. So the reason I have Sauce here is because if the Jets offense gets decent, they're playing with leads at times a little bit more, teams are going to have to throw the ball more. And Sauce Gardner could be the beneficiary of that, because if you test Sauce over and over and over and over again, he's going to make you pay. He's going to get pass breakups. He's going to get interceptions. I think that could be a great recipe for success for Sauce Gardner. And I expect the Jets, if they're healthy, if Aaron Rodgers is out there being able to be, 80-90% of what we've seen from Aaron Rodgers over the years, they're going to be in a very good situation. I think that, I love what they did with the offensive line. Garrett Wilson's a superstar. Breece Hall, a star. So I think that with those two guys, with Aaron Rodgers, with the offensive line and the defense around Sauce Gardner, he has a really good chance to record a ton of picks and be a huge playmaker in 2024. Derek Stingley, he quietly had a fantastic season for the Houston Texans last year. I like Kamari Lassiter playing opposite him. I like what they've done at safety. I like how they've upgraded their defensive front. They're going to be a team playing with leads a lot, in my opinion. And it's going to be tough because teams are going to have to feel like they have to throw on the Houston Texans. And I think Derek Stingley could shut it down. Again, like Sauce Gardner, pick off a lot of passes, get his hands on the football a lot. So I like Derek Stingley here. And then at safety, Kyle Hamilton. I think he had 4 interceptions last year. Obviously, you're going to need to get more than 4 interceptions to be close to winning this award. But the national sentiment around Kyle Hamilton is that he is one of the best players in the NFL, and I agree, he is. That he's probably the best safety in the NFL. So if he has that type of hype around him entering the 2024 season, and then he's able to go and get his hands on the football, get 6-7 interceptions this year, that could be a recipe. And I think for a safety or corner to win it, you're going to have to see a slide from the defensive ends, the edge players. You're going to have to see them not really pushing for 20 sacks or anything like that, where it's a season where there's not as many sacks from the league leaders. I think if that is the scenario that happens in 2024, you could see a Kyle Hamilton or a Derek Stingley or a Sauce Gardner competing for Defensive Player of the Year. But in all likelihood, again, my top 5, I think, have a great shot. Will Anderson, Myles Garrett, TJ Watt, Josh Hines Allen, Aiden Hutchinson. Again, let me know what you think about this list in the comment section below. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Y'all have a good one.